The sporting event I'm going to research is the Super 15. It involves 15 teams from 3 countries in the Southern Hemisphere. The countries involved are New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. There are 5 teams from each country. The people involved in the event include players from the team, coaches, team officials, sponsors, spectators like ourselves, and many more. The locations of the games are in each of these countries and are spread throughout in each of the team's hometowns and country. In this presentation, I'll be examining the significance of the Super 15 event for self, others, and society, while analyzing the aspects of the social, historical, economical, political, cultural, and environmental factors involved with this event. The term social refers to the concerns of people, their opinions, and their interactions. The Super 15 is a socially significant event, and there are a number of viewpoints that reflect this. For example, spectators are advantaged socially, as they are able to enrich their social well-being and spiritual well-being, as it helps them to develop self-identity by supporting a team that they like and may represent either a specific town or even just their country in general. They develop self-identity by purchasing the team's merchandise and showing that they are passionate about the team and their country. This means that the spectators feel as though they belong to something and are involved in an event that is bigger than themselves. This can advantage their social well-being, as they can interact and get along with other supporters in the crowd who feel the same passion. Spectators can also be disadvantaged socially because by buying merchandise you are spending money, and most people may not be able to afford this. Spectators may not be able to buy tickets to the games and will not be able to experience the games live and have the buzzing atmosphere of the crowd and players coming together and making the nation proud. This means that they might not enjoy in games as much as you could and get the complete experience. For me personally, I believe that this event helps you to feel as if you belong and you're part of something bigger. Take me, for example. I love going to the Auckland Blues games, as they are the home team here. Going to the game excited and ready to watch the rugby surrounded by people in the same colours and feelings. When I'm at live games, I feel as though I'm part of something, and I feel like I belong to society and I'm accepted. This has an impact on me socially, as I feel like I'm part of something special and important, and feel as though I'm accepted by society who feels the same way. They feel the same way that I do about the team on the field representing our town and country. In the future, I would like to see more fun activities at the venues. For example, the Dunedin Stadium, Forsyth Bar, has an area called the Zoo. This is where people dress up in animal costumes, TV characters, etc. This would be a great idea for kids to do, and maybe have a best dressed or something along those lines, so that spectators can be more involved with the game. This will mean that socially you can feel like you are one with the game and get something out of watching at the stadium. The Super 15 is socially significant because you can buy merchandise to develop self-identity. Someone from my PE class commented, Super 15 helps develop self-identity. For example, supporters buy merchandise to reflect their identity of the team that they support. This makes you feel better about yourself and feel like you are part of a team. Ian McKinney was on the right track, as this means that your spiritual well-being will be affected positively, creating a sense of acceptance and belonging with other supporters. If we look at the other aspect of social, there are a number of people socially advantaged by the Super 15. For example, players, cheerleaders, coaches, etc. They all have crucial roles in the game and how it is given to us as spectators and supporters. They are advantaged socially due to this event because they are involved in giving you the best quality game. Players train most days leading up to the game and learn new drills, skills, and way to make themselves better, all for the benefit of us, the spectators. Coaches invest all their time, patience, and skills and drills into these players so they can perform at the best and make the towns and country proud. This means that many people are involved and contribute to make the games how they are. The Super 15 is socially significant as it's a great way to meet new people and further develop self-identity and improve their social well-being. For example, you can go to a bar to watch a game, which will result in you meeting people with similar interests. This means your social ha'ora will be improved because you will be more social and get out more with your friends. In my family, we make it a tradition to watch all the rugby games. No matter what we have planned, we always make sure that we factor in that there is a rugby game on and that we cannot miss it. It is our way of making sure we are spending time together, with halftime treats and all the family coming together to enjoy something we all like. This may be the case for many other families and their friends too. Whether at home or at the venue, people come together and create new friends and might rekindle old friendships from back in the day. My family loves the social atmosphere and hype that is involved with the Super 15 games. We never really get out and party, but when the games come round, at home or out in town, we love the excitement that is around all the teams and the games, the merchandise, all the food, and many easy but busy ways to get to the games. By being in a big environment, the others you don't know makes it even more exciting. And we all get along socially. These are some of the many positives from the event, as many people come together and celebrate the wins and go through some of the losses. My friends feel that the event is a great way to get their families and friends out to a game, be excited together while still being family friendly and social, with groups of people you have never met before. Reasons why my family and friends have these views are because they believe the event is a great way to get people from all around the country and world to come together, socialize, and enjoy something they all enjoy together. Although it's not all positive. In contrast, the players, cheerleaders, coaches, etc. are disadvantaged socially due to this event because they have a lot of pressure on them, and this may prevent them from performing their best. Having the eyes of thousands of people on you all the time, scrutinizing your every move, would have a huge impact on myself, and I would not play to my full potential either. This means that many of the players, cheerleaders, and coaches, and many other people involved, may crumble under the pressure and leave to play for different countries, leave to coach other teams, etc. Some negatives include people getting into fights and arguments about calls made in the game by match officials. This makes the event less family friendly and could also force parents to stay clear of the violent atmosphere. For example, Quade Cooper. He gets a lot of abuse from New Zealand crowds when they play here. Quade Cooper states, "You just get on with what you can control, practice as much as possible, and have those thoughts in the back of your mind when you're practicing. You know what the crowd is going to get into, you like that, and embrace it, and I will." This shows us how the crowd can affect the players and how they play. If the crowd is always abusing Quade Cooper, he cannot play at his best, and this could affect his future playing career. Even Richie McCaw is tired of the way the crowd treats his fellow rivals, has grown tired of the taunts and pleaded with fans to back off Cooper, was jeered endlessly in the Crusaders Super Rugby semi-final win over the Queensland Reds in Christchurch. My family and friends feel that the atmosphere is always a great way for the crowds, but they do get a bit carried away sometimes, and this can have a negative effect on their social well-being as they will just want to stay home and away, and not to be part of the negative atmosphere. In the future, both my family and friends would like to see more family-friendly activities in the venue itself, like games and dress-up competitions, etc. This would all mean that the elders at the event will be aware of the kids and may not be as crude. It'll also bring fun and positive atmosphere to the event. They would also make them social as they are competing off the field and watching the competition on the field. When we look at the effect on society, there are a number of people advantaged socially in New Zealand by the Super 15. For example, the franchise and sponsors are advantaged socially because when the home team does well, the community comes together and gets along better and has something to look forward to and celebrate. Jessica Kennedy said, "It provides a sense of community and spectators feel a part of a team. For example, supporters all feel connected to each other and like they belong. This means that the franchise and local community benefit from the money gained through the spectators." So as we can see, Jessica Kennedy was on the right track, because this means that many people can become interested in the game and may want to become part of the action. This will benefit the franchise and sponsors socially due to the increased numbers of spectators. Sponsors will benefit from the public attendance and participation as well, as they will get their brands out on boards and players, and people in the public attendance and participation as well will see and have a desire to be like their role models, and this may result in them buying brands that the players have. Another example of a group advantaged socially by this event is the local businesses and community. They are advantaged because the community comes together at the game and not. It also attracts people from overseas and to come to the live games, which will increase the ticket sales, helping the community and local businesses. Recently, the Chiefs got into the grand finals for the second time in a row in 2 years. The Hamilton community is excited and getting into the excitement of the Super 15 championship. Mike Ward said, "Last year's Super 15 final was brilliant for Hamilton. This is the sort of thing that is marvelous for the city." Although, in contrast, the local community is disadvantaged socially by this event, because players misbehaving on and off the field will also have an impact on the community and hometown, as it could give the community a bad name. Another example of a group disadvantaged socially by this event is the New Zealand society as a whole. They are disadvantaged because, like the community, New Zealand will be judged on the actions and behaviours of New Zealand players, and we will all be judged, and this could affect the amount of tourists coming overseas. This means that there won't be as much interest from those overseas and sales could go down, and then our social well-being will be affected. When we look at political, the term political refers to the concerns of laws, policies, and in the involvement of the government at a local and national level. The Super 15 is politically a significant event, and there are a number of viewpoints that reflect this. For example, spectators are advantaged politically because there are rules that apply to them, such as the laws of limit for purchasing alcohol. The behaviour at the ground and buying liquor under the age of 18 is restricted. This means that spectators are both at both the venue and the bars are advantaged, as if everyone follows the same rules and have all the same restrictions, this can help them to have a better time and have more enjoyable experience. It'll also be a safer environment for all the spectators and also the families. Spectators can also be disadvantaged politically because they may not agree with the rules or accept them and do the opposite. This too affects their social well-being in a negative way, putting both themselves and others in danger, and not have as much of a good time as they initially thought because they were getting drunk. Senior Sergeant Scott Banfield, head of Christchurch's team policing unit, said 5 people were arrested and 16 people were evicted from the new AMI Stadium for alcohol-related disorder. Police also attended a number of alcohol-related incidents in the stands during the match, including assaults and offensive language. The senior sergeant said it was silly, little things like some people sitting in the wrong seat that sparked a fight. Maybe if people weren't intoxicated, they would have dealt with it a bit more maturely. About 28 people were turned away from the stadium before the game even begun, because they were already heavily intoxicated. Banfield said that and meant it. He wants to see a change. This means they are banned from the venue and future games, which means the attendance will drop. They could also harm themselves and might not like to go back to a rugby game. For me personally, I feel this event is monitored and run well by franchises and local communities, such as police. For alcohol in particular, every time I've gone to a game, I have never seen anyone drunk, and never seen any bad behaviour. There are also guards around, and food area is laid out well and professionally, and the alcohol area is separate from all the stalls for food and drink. In the future, I personally would like to see more alcohol restricted areas, like having areas where no one is allowed to drink, because then families could bring their kids and not be too worried. This will mean that those that want to drink can, and those that want their kids safe and not to worry can enjoy the game. When we look at others, we can see there are a number of people advantaged politically by the Super 15. For example, players, cheerleaders, coaches, etc. are advantaged politically due to this event because they get the exposure they need to be noticed by other companies, franchise teams, and more. They also enhance both their social and spiritual well-being. This will also advantage the family, as the individual has gained a job as a result of the event providing more job opportunities in the local area. This means that there are many job opportunities and publicity available for you when you are involved in this event. This could also open up many doors for you later in life. My friends feel if politics were involved with cheerleading, it would make life a lot easier, as there would be more advertisements and teams would become bigger, therefore making the performance easier. This is from Lauren, a cheerleader for the Breakers game. She also says it would also help develop New Zealand gyms, as they are downgraded compared to America, and with funds they could upgrade the gyms and train athletes, resulting in better cheerleaders who would represent New Zealand, putting us on the map as a great destination for upcoming cheerleaders. Although what Lauren's saying is not referred to the Super 15, there could be similar views from coaches, cheerleaders who support teams in the Super 15 competition, and maybe even coaches. They may have the same opinions or views as Lauren, who is a college-grade cheerleader and cheers for the New Zealand Breakers and may later cheer for a Super 15 rugby team if she wishes. My family believes that having cheerleaders and mascots for a big Super 15 is a great way for them to get the exposure that they need. Those who cheer and represent the teams are getting a great TV time, also noticed by bigger companies to hire them. I also think it gives them the experience they need to further their career. My friends and families of the cheerleaders support staff will favor the team as they will go to watch the game. Dang it. The friends and families of the cheerleaders and support staff will favor the team as they will go to watch them perform. This was from Sarah Lotta. Reasons why my family have these views are because we never went to a basketball game, but when we found out our family friend Lauren cheered for the New Zealand Breakers, we went along to watch her perform. In the process, we also found we loved watching the basketball. This could be the same for those and their rugby teams, and joining the Super 15 buzz of supporting their hometown and teams. In contrast, though, players, cheerleaders, coaches, etc. are disadvantaged politically due to this event because players breaking the rules and laws of the game and their contracts. This may mean that they miss out on important games due to sin bins and bans. Take Zach Gilford for example. He has had an alcohol problem, and this affects both himself and his teammates, and even the public view on New Zealand as a whole. Back in 2011, when his alcoholism first became public, Zach Gilford was banned from 4 matches, and this did not only have a negative effect on him and his fitness, but also on the Crusaders team. The coach of the Crusaders, Tom Blackadder, commented, "Gilford couldn't be coming to a better environment than the Crusaders in terms of support. A lot of guys over the years have had a lot of difficulty in terms of alcoholism and things like that. He's got some really good role models that are still in this team who have gone through what he has gone through." So it seems that even though there are negatives around the event and politics that can have a negative side effect on Guildford's social well-being, he has support and role models to look up to. This negative effect to Guildford means that those younger looking up to him could potentially be influenced wrong and may too have an alcohol problem. My family believes that the players should realize that they have a duty to the country and the youngsters of the nation, as they are now role models in front of the whole of New Zealand. My brother, Dean Lotter, says, "I'm upset because I look up to these guys. I want to be them one day. I don't want to go down that path. The boys my age are easily influenced, and any of my mates could do that and regret it and lose their career. In the future, my family and friends would like to see more laws and punishments to the rugby players, because this will show them that they need to live with the consequences and not just a slap on the wrist. This will mean that many players will become more aware of how they act and also of their teammates, as they will be affected too by the behaviour of the players around them." When we look at the effect on society, there are a number of people advantaged politically in the New Zealand by the Super 15. For example, there's an increase in job opportunities for the locals. The government in New Zealand gets an increase in the tourism due to the big games. Jessica Tasman Jones wrote an article and said, "A tourism expert says the exposure of the city received during the event will see a new generation of international visitors travelling here, along with New Zealanders who have a new appreciation for the city." We can see that New Zealand is benefiting from the interest in rugby here. Franchises, local businesses, sponsors, the media, etc. They are all advantaged politically because they are being put on TV, as everything is televised, and all of the world gets to see their logos, boards, and signs. This means that there will be an increase in sale of goods at the venues and at sports stores that sell the team merchandise. This links to the GST on goods sold at the event. The money is then put back into sports and education, etc. Another example of a group advantaged politically by this event are the politicians themselves. They are advantaged because by being at the games, they increase their public profile. This means that they are able to access the venues themselves and see what does and doesn't need to be adjusted in the venues. They also create laws and bylaws around the games, like night games. Night games have disadvantages when it comes to the Super 15. The deputy and rugby coach at Albany Senior High School, Alex Solomon, says, "I would change night games into afternoon games so I could take my kids. I can't take them now because this is too late." Alex Solomon also stated, "I would change the ticket prices to come down so I could afford to take my family." In the future, these groups would like to see a change in the times of the games and ticket prices to be lowered so they can take their families and friends. This will also make the event more family friendly as families can afford to bring their kids and enjoy the game. This shows that their social well-being is being negatively affected as they cannot come to the games due to the politics surrounding the event. Lastly, if we look at the environmental factor on ourselves, we can see that the term environment refers to the concerns in the environment. The Super 15 is environmentally a significant event, and there are a number of viewpoints that reflect this. For example, spectators are advantaged environmentally because venues are always made perfect for them and the society. This will enhance their social well-being as they can get out in a clean and well-kept environment. For example, a member of the community commented on the Eden Park Stadium saying, "I think it's a great looking stadium. Walking down the street, looking up at it, it looks awesome." This shows that by liking the event you are more likely to go back and make great memories. This means that the stadiums are good quality and you get the best experience possible. Spectators are also advantaged at home as they get the best coverage live and replay of the game when they have the time, by having the best footage of the game at home. This is a great way for spectators to experience the event without getting cold and the problem of noise. Spectators, although, can also be disadvantaged environmentally because there may be an increase in health issues like sunburn and sickness due to inadequate clothing and exposure to the elements. There will also be an increase of rubbish, and this may go against their beliefs. This means that spectators may not want to go to the games anymore, and this will decrease sales. For me personally, I feel this event is a great way to get out into the environment and enjoy the company of those with similar interests, and also a buzzing atmosphere. The Forsyth Bar Stadium down in Dunedin is a great 21st century stadium as it is indoors, so it eliminates all the weather elements and keeps all the rubbish indoors, making it environmentally friendly and easier for the cleaners at the end of the game. In the future, I would like to see less of pollution in and around stadiums because it's gross and unhygienic and can also be hard to clean up. More stadiums like Dunedin's Forsyth Bar would be a great alternative for future stadiums or upgrades. When we look at others, we see my family feels that stadiums are kept well and clean. My brother, Dean Lotter, says, "The conditions of our grounds were always great and the litter and rubbish seem to be fine whenever I go to a live game at the North Park Stadium." This is a positive, but in contrast, players, cheerleaders, coaches, etc. are disadvantaged environmentally due to this event because there may be injuries due to the behavior of the crowd, pollution in the form of rubbish, and carbon emissions. This means that many people will have negative feelings towards the game, especially at the stadium, watching live. For example, some people don't like how the crowd behaves due to the actions they take, like Trent Murin, for example, who has streaked at games multiple times. This just ruins the experience for those who have gone to the game to enjoy the skills of the players. One spectator, Jacob Page, commented, "The spectator should be banned for life. Funny or not, going to such events is a privilege." So as you can see, there are cases sometimes when the players, cheerleaders, and coaches get bad-mouthed when spectators get mad or angry. If we look at Quade Cooper again, for example, we can see that players are impacted at what the crowd are saying and how they react to the criticism given to them by the people they are playing for. Darren Walton says, "It's a way for people to sell the game, why people turn up to watch. Not only do they come there to see great games of rugby, they come there to see rivalry. This means that people go to the games to see some action and enjoy the sensation of winning and also saying that they wish, although some people go over the top and ruin the experience for players." Some negatives include the transport delays. Many people will travel to and from the venue, whether they carpool or use one or more cars as family, buses, taxis, etc. The traffic will build up and there is an event in progress, and this can turn people off and not be bothered. Not going to a game will decrease ticket sales, and this too can have an economic effect later. My family feels that it is natural and sometimes hard to get people to behave when they are intoxicated, but they also feel that because it is seen as a family event, that they should be more considerate. In the future, both my friends and family would like to see less alcohol at an event that is quite family orientated, with so many kids present. This is because it will set a bad example, especially when the kids are there to look up to the players on the field. Lastly, the environmental effect on society. There are a number of people advantaged environmentally in New Zealand by the Super 15. For example, the franchises, local businesses, sponsors, the media, etc. They are all advantaged environmentally because the event is put live on TV, and this exposes New Zealand to all the other countries over the world who are watching. We are also well known for being a clean and green country, so we are always wanting to have the lush green fields with no litter and have fast and easy transport, so spectators have no worries. Another example of a group advantaged environmentally by this event is the local community and local businesses. They are advantaged because so much work goes into making each stadium the best it can and function well, and also have the rubbish cleaned up, as no one likes pollution. They may also get new facilities or upgrades due to the event, which can enhance the popularity of their business. This means that the community will have interest from those overseas and come to the town and city, which could help them economically. In contrast, though, the local community, government, New Zealand society, etc., are disadvantaged economically, environmentally by this event because big crowds create more mess, resulting in rubbish and pollution. There is also the need for more facilities like parking, portaloos, etc. This means that there will be people who have to stay hours after the game to clean up. Having the interest of many people can also make the transport hard to use and quite busy and unpleasant. Lee Brown said, "There were too many people going to little train stations. You looked left and right and there were bottlenecks. I'd like to go again, but after that performance, I'd rather watch it from home." We can see that transport is available, and he had a good time, but the transport was crowded, and this ruined his night. In the future, these groups would like to see more people using public transport en routes to the game and future events, because this will make your carbon footprint that little bit smaller. And if everyone puts in a little bit, it could all make a difference. They would also like to see less pollution in the form of rubbish, as this is a bad image for New Zealand, who has a clean and green reputation. Regarding the pollution, this is a man-made problem that is hard to change, but is being addressed as the whole world evolves and becomes more carbon footprint aware. In contrast, the local community is disadvantaged socially by this event because if so many people are interested in coming to the games and enjoying the atmosphere, the traffic and congestion could become bad and turn some people off. There would also be an increase in the amount of rubbish, and this will affect the attendance as many people will not like to look after the litter. Buses and taxis are a great alternative to the game, as they take you straight to the door and drop you home for cheap prices. Recently, they have also made it possible for you to get to the stadium for free when you take your rugby ticket with you on the bus, train, etc. This is a great way to get the public to and from the games, and also for them and those to try to get to the games and be part of the rugby world. Thank you.